How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and in today's video we are going from a hardtop Bronco to a soft top Bronco. The weather's warming up a bit, it's getting a bit nicer, and even though I do have everything set up to make it easy to get the top off, I wanted to try out the soft top life. So I did get the Trektop by Bestop, so it does have the slant back. I've been on the fence about doing it for a while, about getting it, about ordering it, and well, I know they were raising their prices here this month, so I finally bit the bullet and ordered it. When I did order it, it said it was back ordered, so you know, in Bronco world, that could mean anywhere from 6 months to never, but I figured it would be here by summer. They you know, it is an actual top. They have been delivering them. It's not something they're still developing or anything. So I went ahead and ordered it, assumed, you know, it'd be here by summertime. And well, their idea of back order is much different than the rest of Bronco worlds, because it was delayed maybe 2 days, and then I got a shipping notice saying, hey, it's on the way, and it's here. It comes in 2 boxes. Both boxes exactly the same size. Neither one of them are too heavy. The one, it's kind of heavy on one end, so it makes it awkward. The other end's light, the other end's a little bit heavy, and then this one's pretty equal. I mean, neither of them are overtly heavy. They're easily carried. They're easy to carry out. No big deal there. So I think the weight difference on these over the hardtop is going to be a huge difference. Not that it's going to make a huge difference, because I have way more weight with bumpers and wheels and everything on here than is going to be taking off with the hardtop, so it's not going to offset it that much. But just something to note, it definitely does weigh significantly less than the hardtop. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the hard top off, and then we'll start laying out parts and see how this goes. So we have a whole bunch of parts laid out here, and this was all the contents of the first box. So this is the one I said was kind of heavy on one end. That's because a lot of this stuff had shifted down to the one end, and just like some of the longer pieces were extended out to the other side, so that end was light. But yeah, we've got quite a few parts with this. We've got a couple instruction books. One that French and Spanish, and some English. Alright, so I thought that was all one instruction pamphlet at first, and I thought that is going to be huge. It's only a third of that, so only one of them is in English. I imagine there's not a whole lot more in box 2 other than the top itself, which I went with the black twill. They got the black diamond and then the twill material. And the way it was explained to me was like the black diamond was kind of like tarp almost material. It's very plasticky and not very nice at all. We were just at Cars and Coffee and yesterday, and I was talking to a guy that had the Bestop Jeep top, a very similar top, but it was the black diamond. That material is a lot nicer than people give it credit for. The way it was described, like I said, the way it was described to me, it sounded like somebody just threw a tarp over top some, you know, some rods and called it good. But that black diamond material is not bad. So if this is as big of an improvement over that as everybody says it is, then I'm going to be very happy with this. This is yeah, this is nice. It's similar, like it's a material like the OEM, but that's actually a bit softer. That's, yeah, I am definitely happy with that material. And we'll see how it looks once it's all installed, but yeah, like I said, I thought the Black Diamond was pretty good material when I saw it and felt it yesterday, but yeah, so this is definitely nicer. I wouldn't be sad with either one, but definitely happy I went with that one. So that one's a little bit more expensive, but I see why. You do actually get a higher quality material for the price. Now, we have a whole lot of prepping to do. First things, we gotta clean these ledges and then put some like vinyl protectant down, then do some seals all around here. So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe all this down. There's these two pieces of vinyl that we got. It's like a vinyl that we got to stick down. They're gonna sit over top of this surface. So we got to do the front one first. It says to line up these holes, which these line up like so. So then we can peel the back side of this one off. And we should be able to pull the rest of the backing off. You have an opening here where normally I found out mud and dirt can come up through, so I'm guessing this kind of blocks that off. Then we have another one, and that's going to overlap, it seems. So I just did a video, and I put it up in the corner there, of doing vinyl wrap on the A-pillars. This feels similar, but it is definitely has a lot more adhesive on the bottom than just like a regular vinyl wrap. So it's pretty much a sticker. But, and I don't 100% know. I don't know if it's just to have a cleaner mating surface, if it's to cover that seam to prevent any moisture from coming up in there or what, but I mean, I'm just following what the steps say. So I do the same thing over on the other side, and then we'll go from there. So next thing we have just this channel. It's split in half, and it's going to go down this little ledge here. So I'm going to fold it kinda. Make sure it gets. It's supposed to go all the way up to the edge of the middle. So I said trying to get it to that edge and then come around and then straight with that piece there. So then it just fits right in that groove. So I'll come around this side, do this one. Next, on the top of this piece we just put in, we got a little foam piece that fits right in that groove like so. And again, same thing on the other side. Grab one of these cubes and stuff it in here. I'll just shove it in there, I guess. And then this is going to go on here. So if you already have a soft top, or you have these brackets already installed, then you're gonna have to uninstall them. Then I think we use 2 of the stock bolts that hold the hardtop on down. I think we reused those. Let me double check here. We need 1 more of these screws. These are the same screws we used on the side panels, so we need 1 of those, and then we need 2 of our OEM bolts that normally hold the top down. So let's get these in there finger tight for now. And then this will go in over on this side, because then we also have this forward piece, and that's going to screw in there. So before I tighten any of these down, I want to make sure we can get this piece on there. All right, so 2 more of the OEM bolts. Then 1 of these. So now I should be able to tighten everything down. Let's see, we got the front channel for the rear window and the bottom channel for the rear window, as well as the back corner here. Now we've got to do the same exact thing on the other side, and then continue on. Alright, so got these in, and I realize now that this is going to be a pain, because I got a piece of steel that I ordered to fab up a mounting bracket for that amp back behind there that still hasn't shown up. But in order to get this panel off now, I got to undo this, and there's a bit of undoing that's going to have to happen just to get this back panel off now. So that's going to be a little bit of a pain, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, now we got to take this bracket, this front bolt, and this bolt out. The front's got a shorter bolt. The rear does have a longer bolt, which it's going to matter now when we put this on. This front just goes right back in. However, this rear, there's going to be a spacer that goes in there and then back in. Okay, yeah, now we got to take these 2 bolts out. I'm going to install this bracket. I got to put 2 more spacers in there. Building up this top channel a bit. We got same to here. We got to do the same on the other side. I'm just going to drive these down a little bit. Go ahead and put the bolts on the other side before I tighten these down. And there we go. We got this first, what they're calling the halo, installed on here. Alright, so these next 2 pieces took me way too long to figure out how they went on, because I was looking at this at the back end. It has these, and these holes didn't line up, and so then I was looking at this. I was like, well, there's no way, those brackets don't sit on there. You actually got to flip this over. So this is the front of the top. You got to flip it over and kind of pull back the top, and then this will sit in there. But then when you flip it back, it'll rest up against the canvas. So That took me way too long of staring at this thing like I don't get it, to realize I had to flip this upside down and peel this back a little bit to get the access to it. But then just 2 screws go in there and hold these bars on there. So do this, and I said make sure the hooks are facing up, which they are. And yeah, so put these 2 in and then do the same thing on the other side with that other bar. Alright, so now that we got those bolts in, we can flip that back over, and now it makes a bit more sense. We got 2 more foam pieces to put on. It looks like they are going to go, oops, like so. Then I just got to pull the backing off, and then they're going to fit on there. Now we're going to attach this, what they're calling bow 1.5, and that's just going to attach to these tabs. And got these screws that, yeah, they're only going to let you tighten it so much, and it's going to have this piece of metal for these pieces to actually ride on to pivot. So let's get these lined up, and I'll get the other side there. So this is going to be the same thing, just attached to this next point. We are slowly dwindling down our parts pile over there, but now we got these pieces, and just going to attach from this little tab to this tab on the 2 different bows here. So we'll have both of these attached, but they'll be connected by this little bar, and then we'll want to rotate this cuff once we get everything lined up and see where this is resting. We'll move that cuff in the appropriate place, but for now I just kind of attach these 2 like so, put the screws in, and again it's just these same screws. They'll only go in so far, so you can actually pivot and move things. So get all these in. Well, I did run out of daylight, but I had my son come out and give me a hand. Just set everything on the hood, and then brought this up. And now the main bar here just attaches to this pivot point. And we use the same screws. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so probably couldn't see any of that, but we got these brackets in, we've got these bars in there now. Can't really see, but we got pretty much the top assembled or attached. The only place left to finish the attachment is back here in the back, and to do so we got to take the bolt out of the speaker pod here. Taking this rather long bolt out of the speaker, I just got to pull that back a little bit. And re-drive that bolt in there. And we got 2 more bolts up here. Got another bracket for the driver's side, same thing, and then that's our top in place. Alright, so we got one last piece, well, 2, one on each side, to put on. Up in here, in the top, there is this metal hook. So we got this small metal piece we got to pop through there, and then onto there, like so, and then a screw to put in there. Now they did provide the world's largest bottle of Loctite. Go ahead and do that. Screw it in, and that is a flathead. We'll make sure that's tight. And now we gotta set this piece up there. There's 4 bolts here. Let's try to get 2 of them started, and then alright, we are running out of pieces. Got the back window in. Now there's a channel here, and it just slides right in. There's a piece of slides in there. And so now we have this piece, which goes along the bottom, and a little piping thing. That slides right on. So it's a little wavy, but it's starting to get chilly out here. I think a good day out in the sun and this thing will flatten out a bit. But we're getting there. We are almost put together. So it says we need to make sure that this is flipped under, and that channel's under there. There's a channel, and this will just slide right in there. Now we could slide this front tab it's got a peg that goes in there, and then this bottom peg goes in there, and we can snap that in place. All that tucked in. Fold this down. Alright guys, so I finished up getting the top on the other night. It started raining, so I just finished up and got it pulled into the garage as quickly as possible. I was struggling to get the back window and everything completely buckled up. The next morning it warmed up a bit in the garage, and then I was able to get everything connected, no problem. Then we went, my wife and I drove out to Pigeon Forge over the weekend, went to Smoky Mountain Truck Fest up there. The weather wasn't the greatest, but it was still a pretty good show, all things considered. But on the drive out there, I had put in the light bar back on, and a lot of people have asked me before, like, hey, is that light bar noisy? Is there a lot of wind noise? It's like, no, there's some whistling. And there's another conversation I was having with another person about the whistling noise, because like when I first put it on, I only got the whistling at like 30 miles an hour. It seemed to have to be like a certain atmosphere and going exactly 30 miles an hour, and I would get a whistling, but I didn't really get any wind noise. I switched over to the soft top and drove out there, and the wind noise was insane. I'll put a clip in that I recorded while we were going there on the drive out there. It was... Alright, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but driving down the highway, doing about 70, pretty unbearable. My wife and I were yelling at each other to try to have a conversation, and it's a low tone, and it just kind of rumbles, and you know, it kind of overtakes everything. So I mean, it was so bad. In fact, I took the light bar off before we drove home, and I'll put that clip here of what it sounded like without the light bar. Going about 70 again, or 72, about the same as it was. Now it's compared to the hard top, this soft top, it's not much louder. In fact, it's quieter because there's no creaks and cracking, and I didn't realize just how much noise was coming from that hardtop till driving around for a while without it. Functionality out. We just do these. That was the one thing I didn't like about this top when I first saw it, was the fact it only goes back this far. It doesn't go all the way back like the OEM one does. That was the one thing about this top that bugged me until I drove an OEM soft top with the top all the way back, and the rear view mirror was pretty much useless at that point. Now it does not lift up like the other one, so if you want to undo it, you just undo that. And you can flip that up out of your way. You have full access. Now this is fairly easy while it's warmer out. And do the same over here where it's warmer out. That's nice and easy, no big deal. The first day I had this though, and I was trying to close everything up, and it was starting to rain, it was kind of cold. That was a pain. This is nice and flat now. These windows look so much better than the OEM ones. But yeah, I think it looks great. So I had it, the weather out there, the trip out there was pretty bad. We had rain, we had sleet, we had wind, we had everything, and I mean the top held up great. So far I'm happy with it. We'll see how things go. Keeping the hard top, because come winter time I'm not going to want to mess with this, especially trying to redo the back or anything once this material's cold and shrunk up a little bit. It's going to be a pain. So summertime, it's going to be awesome. Then once it starts getting cold, I'll put the hard top back on most likely, and hopefully by then I'll have the replacement new roof, and maybe we won't get as much noise from it. But anyway, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.